Hey, hello, Scott. Paul McLean here, Crestview RV, Buda, Texas. Thank you so much for your time yesterday. Appreciate it. It really was fun meeting you. Let's take a look for the missus and for you of what may very well compete with the Riverstones you're looking at. This is the 2023 Grand Design Solitude 390 RK rear kitchen. So I think a lot of this is going to wind up being floor plan. I think the quality, even though the Riverstone may have some higher quality interior, for example, I think they don't have wrapped wood stiles. I think this does in the cabinets. We'll look at that when we go downstairs. As far as customer service and quality of build, I'd put this probably a step above the Riverstone, believe it or not, because the customer service with Grand Design is just crazy good. We talked about the R factor on the roofs a little bit, so I thought I'd come up here and show you this roof. R40 on the roof and the front cap, insulation factor. 18-year warranty on this roof. Even the slide outs are walkable. You can stand and walk on the slide outs if you needed to sweep them off or just wanted to sit down and watch a game, whatever, you could. 600 watts of solar on both of these. Coincidentally, unfortunately, I have one of each here. This one I'm standing on has the outdoor kitchen, which I'll show you. The one next door is the same floor plan with different color interior fabrics on the furniture. So we'll get to see both. They both have the solar package, which is the two 300-watt solar panels that are wired into your inverter already. So that'll run lights, awning, everything I did here that you'll see downstairs is on via the solar panels and the battery being fully charged because of that and the inverter. So that's huge. 3 ACs, as you can see, we order them always with that pretty much. And all three of those ACs will run at once. They both have the digital WineGuard Air 360. We talked about Starlink for your wife while she's working. The mobile version of Starlink, they've actually partnered up from what I can tell with WineGuard. WineGuard's been the #1 name in the antenna industry for a long time, in my opinion, and it's pretty neat that Musk and those guys kind of recognize that, and if they were going to partner with anybody, partner with those guys who Grand Design uses already anyway. Lots of attic vents up here for venting, including a attic vent, just like on a house. These are kind of different kinds of vents, but I think that's a real attic vent for condensation when you do some cold weather camping. You're fine there. That's about it on the roofs. Really well made, really well done, really well sealed. Water is your kryptonite for all of these campers, and so the seals on the edges, which is what brought me to Grand Design when I watched how they were doing that and how much different it was from the rest of the manufacturers out there. I actually moved from Georgetown to here. One of the main reasons was to be able to sell this brand. So let's jump off this carefully because it's a little slick. And I'm no spring chicken, but I kind of am. Let's go downstairs and kind of look at both of these. Again, I think, Scott, this is going to wind up being floor plan. Maybe a little bit about price, but I don't think that. I think that's just going to be a happy coincidence. I don't think that's going to be a real deciding factor. However, an extra 20 grand in your pocket and still having a super high quality camper with great customer service, that 20 grand is either a nicer truck or a whole lot of gas for your future adventures. All right, I made that again without falling. Let's start with the front maybe. Well, we'll start with the back. So you'll have a hitch here, Scott and Mrs. Scott, that'll hold 300 pounds. Really, I don't know what you would need storage-wise on this one, because as far as basement storage, this is the winner chicken dinner. We'll start with the biggest storage factor is this 8-foot tray that holds 800 pounds. So I had a mother-daughter team that the daughter was a calf roper, or barrel racer actually, and mom sold tack, saddles and stuff while she was doing that. So it was kind of a tag team deal there, and this is where they kept and sold all their tack from. So that actually worked. It also has pass-through storage, just like a motorhome here, with an electric cord reeler for your power cord. You can see in here the quality of the welds and the aluminum frame, of course, but it's a good way to kind of see the quality here. .110 outlet here. Great big awning. This is the one with the outdoor kitchen. So fortunately, we'll be able to see both. So here's the outdoor kitchen I didn't put out for you while you were here, because I know you had to get back. But super nice. If you're an entertainer or like to entertain, this is killer. However, if you need that storage instead, next door I have one without it, so that's fortunate. Same back slide tray, same pass-through storage in the back, but now all of this is storage. So you get that option there, outside kitchen or not outside kitchen. More storage up front here, of course. Comes with 2 batteries, at least this one does. There's your slide tray for the outdoor kitchen. And your water filtration system here. I'm sure Riverstone has that as well. Outside shower, real easy configuration no matter what you're doing. Boondocking, winterizing, whatever, super easy. Another 110 outlet here. One-touch leveling, of course. So another good point is, even though these are both 2023s, Scott, this one has the standard tank. And I think it's a 12-gallon hot water heater. This other one, even though it's a 2023, they have started doing the tankless Furrion instant hot water, which is this. So I think anything that comes in from here on out is going to have that Furrion tankless water system. Let's look at the interior for you and Mrs. Scott. Another good key point here is that we have an RV park here right on site. So instead of, or unlike every other dealership, instead of your orientation or walk around being around out in a parking lot like this and just kind of hope everything's working, it's in our RV park with it plugged into shore power, with AC working, plugged into sewer, so water's running, heater's going, so you can test it out thoroughly, spend the night with us, no charge, and that way the next morning after having spent the night, should anything be a question mark, we can take care of it before you go out into the real world for good. So that eliminates that possibility, that most frustrating possibility of going on your first camping trip and discovering then that something doesn't work. Here you discover that now, and then next morning the same tech that did your orientation class will be able to help you with any questions you have. Inside, this is the one with the darker furniture. So when you first come in, this is kind of what you see. This is the rear kitchen. Now I've had a couple from Georgetown take out both of these couches. They both worked from the road. So they took out both couches and had a working desk at both, which is kind of neat because you can also, instead of that, this could kind of be your working space because that TV can be set up as a monitor. So you could have a laptop, extra monitor, and even use that for a third monitor while you're up here. So while we're up here, solid surface countertops, 110 outlets everywhere you can look. That's what these are. and USB. A real oven in both, so you can actually put a turkey in there instead of just muffins. For a 4-burner range. Residential refrigerator, almost everybody's going with that. I highly recommend it. Tons of counter space, and I don't know the height of Mrs. Scott, but even my circus friends can reach all these cabinets because it's the raised kitchen here. And speaking of storage, just everywhere you look, storage. Heating vents, we mentioned that a little bit, Scott. In this case, in Grand Design's case, they're always in the wall, lower section of the wall instead of the floor. One less thing to clean up. Another advantage to that is if the heating vents are in the floor there and your slides are in and you're traveling in cold weather and you want the camper to be warm when you stop to camp, you can't do that because the slides are in covering the heating vents. In this case, even with the slides in, you can heat this sucker going down the road and have it toasty immediately when you pull over. Electric recliners with lights, vibration, and heat. And this would be your view after a long day of hiking the Grand Canyon or the Grand Tetons, somewhere grand. The fireplace, of course, is a functional space heater or just ambiance. On your anniversary, you can put a bearskin rug there and a fireplace. And I don't know what else happens after that because I'm too old. But lots of windows. All these windows open 50%. So you can get a good breeze going through here, particularly because you have a screen door, of course. Then, and of course, both of these make into beds. If you pick up a hitchhiker and they don't have any place to sleep, that's where you put them. I don't know. But they both do that. They meet kind of right in the middle. You can still walk through, but if you had a lot of grandkids or whatnot, there you go. Another thing I love about Grand Design, I'm an old-fashioned guy, so I like the buttons to push and open everything and check everything. But if you're more, and I'm also a gadget guy, but just not in this case. You still have this, which will run everything as well, lights, awning, even leveling, and there's a Bluetooth option to this with, you can do all that stuff from your phone as well. But I like to push a button. More storage, central vacuuming, of course. And let's look at the bathroom. Porcelain toilets, of course. A great thing about Grand Design is even in their lowest end travel trailers, they only do porcelain toilets. They don't do any plastic toilets. That just shows their commitment. So a nice backlight here on the vanity. You can turn that off or on. And then you have full lighting here, of course, LED. 3 octopus hooks. Why? Because they look like octopuses. Octopi? I don't know. The best shower head, I want to say on planet Earth, because it probably is. The Four Seasons doesn't have that shower head. Teak seat there to shave your legs, Scott. Haha. Glass enclosed shower. Dual vanity. And then this is your control for, well, that's weird. This is the one that I thought didn't have the tankless, but I think that's a tankless. I'll have to find out. I'm showing my ignorance now because usually that's the Furion Instant Tankless. We'll go over to the other one and see if it's the same. But I don't think this is tankless, but that looks like a tankless. It just might be the water temperature setting gauge that they're using now. His and her medicine cabinets and lots of room for towels and whatnot. Now the master bedroom, which the door will be held with a magnet here for you. Where is that magnet? There it is. That's kind of clever. You can set this up with a Wi-Fi router. We can do that for you. Otherwise, like I say, I think Starlink's going to be your answer. This one is hooked up with a king bed because it goes all the way to the side there, but you still have the nightstands. which is nice. Which is nice. Storage under the bed, of course, and you can do this with the queen if you don't want the king. Oh, that's new. So storage under here. Some of them have an ottoman that pull out. So instead of that, they're doing drawers and your jewelry or handgun storage right here. You'll have some more hidden storage under your dresser drawer here. And a good banquette. Second TV, Roku, smart TV as well, just like the front, so you can stream initially, no problem. And then I like that the washer dryer, should you decide to have a washer dryer, is in a real nice accessible space here where you don't have to contort yourself to get the dryer clothes out. That's nice. Otherwise, just leave it for larger closet. And then we have a nice closet in here. .110 and USB on each side of the beds. 3 ACs, of course, I mentioned that. We saw that up on the roof. Let's go compare this furniture to the furniture of the one next door. So this is the darker. They keep changing names. It used to be Pebble. Who knows what they're calling it now. The lighter stuff used to be Cotton. Who knows what they're calling it now, but it's basically light or dark. Let's take a look. And again, we saw the storage with or without the outside kitchen. And then this one again is all lit up via the solar panels. And now you can see the lighter furniture. I don't remember selling Mr. Green. I don't know. I got to figure out what happened to him. But I think this one's available too. I'm not sure. But you can just, only difference here is the lighter furniture. Let's give you a better look here. But I love this vantage point from up here because if you're watching the Super Bowl or something, you can have a room full of people down there having a blast. A couple of people up here cooking. I'm old-fashioned, so that's women, but probably not. Yeah, 30-inch microwave, convection microwave, but you've got your big oven as well. So, I hope this helps Scott and Mrs. Scott. Paul McLean, 406-696-4750. 406-696-4750. There's a front living version of this with a wet bar that I would recommend you checking out as well. But kind of let me know where you're standing, what your thoughts are. Come on in and look at these in person. And then, hey, let's go camping.